Okay, this is a mix between a status update and just the question that I want to ask Unreal developers. So, if you're an Unreal developer, what would you do in this situation? So, you can see I've got my little rocket thruster VR thing that I'm working on, and the problem I'm having, right, is that I want to be able to walk around on the ground. So if I land on the ground, I want to be able to use the analog stick just to walk around, but I can't do that because as soon as I enable physics, it just stops that working altogether. You can see that it's saying that it is falling, so it's not detecting the ground. Now, from what I gather, when you've got physics enabled, using the regular character movement is just not the way to go. So I should be using some sort of physics way, like add force or whatever, to do that. That might just be the answer, and all that's fine. I don't really care if I can't get it to work and I can't get an answer that's gonna make it so that I can actually do that, then I guess you just can't walk in this game, which is fine because it's all about the rockets anyway. But I did want it to be that at least you can just land and not think about it. But you can land, but you kind of have to balance it. It's a bit of a weeble wobble situation, and depending on how I set up the thrusters as well, because all the different. Now we're moving on to just tangents. So why haven't I touched this in like a fucking million years? Simply that. It was giving me some trouble. So when I first started this in October last year, I knew absolutely nothing, and then I managed to make like a whole lot of progress on all these little cool things. I was really surprised, and I was like, oh my god, if I keep going, this is gonna actually be something cool eventually. But then I hit a wall. I made a mistake which I told myself not to make, which was that as soon as something's getting too difficult, go in a different direction and just make progress somewhere else. But instead, I decided to keep hitting my head against the wall and got bored and gave up basically. But finally, I worked up the courage to get around that problem, which was that I was absolutely determined to use Lumen. So now I've realised that is not going to happen. At least not as far as I can gather. I can't get it to work. Lumen, it works, but the performance hits too much. It doesn't matter what I do. It's just not happening. So yeah, we've gone for disabling global illumination entirely. And now, anyway, I'm going to put this in the description. Right now what I'm working on is just balancing how this actually flies, because there's so many possibilities for how it can fly, and I just want it to be fun. And the one problem I've got with it just now, I'd say it's pretty much perfect, apart from the fact that when I want to be able to stop faster, but if I want to be able to stop faster, I have to increase the thrust, which means that you spin too fast because the spin affects the thrust, but then you can change that by putting on linear dampening, but then the angular momentum dampening, and then you end up in a situation where it's just a bit too rigid. I like the fact that when you let go, it kind of takes a little second to stop. And anyway, this was really about the question, and but also the possibility that I might actually start doing stuff with this and do some more stuff. Who knows? Yeah, or I'll just give up again. It would be cool to make a little game out of this though.